that day. So it happens that he is the news all day. Good and bad. Good and bad.
He's the news.
He's the news.
Okay, so before we even talk about him dying, oh, see, yeah, we are.
Did they tell what kind of cancer he had?
Prostrate, I think.
Oh.
The thing he used all the time.
Of black men.
Yeah, the thing he used with every woman, they end up dying from it.
Well, no, because we know a lot of people that have died with that. So
now, how do you feel about OJ? I told you how I feel about it. How you feel about OJ Simpson dying?
Oh, it's sad. It's sad when anyone passes away.
So when Dahmer passed away, you cried?
I was sad. I was kind of, you know what?
You said anyone.
You know, you
John Wayne Gacy.
You're being funny. When he got beat up in prison, I felt bad for him because I know he did wrong, but it's just so sad that I told my sister, I said, nothing has happened in our life to us and family members that would make me really not like somebody to the point where I hate I want them to die. Or if they die, I don't care.
But imagine if they ate your brother.
That's what I'm saying. If it's something personal they did to me or my family, it would be a little bit harder.
Now, O.J. Simpson literally chopped the head off of Nicole.
Allegedly, right? Because they said he was proven
civil, I guess he was found guilty.
This man was proven guilty.
No, innocent.
Innocent, I'm sorry. That's a fraudulent slip. That must mean
proven
something.
Guilty too, because he wrote a book said if
I
and then he named everything that happened. He named stuff the police didn't even know. They was like, now you just taunting us at this point.
But I told my sister, I said,
tell them the story you said about the guy who was friends with O.J. Simpson.
They had it on the CNN. You watched the man on the CNN news that was real close to O.J.
And he ran into
and they asked him how he felt about it because he knew Nicole and all of them. He ran into
Johnny
Cochran on the plane.
Yeah. So
and pretty much this is my own take of it because I may not be clear on the questions he asked Johnny Cochran, but it was along the lines of, because he hadn't met him in person. So on the plane, he actually met him. And he said, do you mind if I ask you a question? And he asked him about the various things that was put out there about him, the proof and stuff that the prosecutors maybe missed, or there was obvious, but it wasn't brought out, or certain things like that about the case. And he asked Johnny Cochran his opinion, and Johnny Cochran said, I wondered about that too. Johnny Cochran was wondering why the prosecutors did not have there was some things they could have brought out that would probably make Johnny Cochran's case tougher to prove innocence for OJ. And then he pretty much told the friend of OJ, he said, I just work with what evidence and information I have.
Right.
That's what I do. I work with what I got. But he said it dawned on me as well why they did not come forth with certain things that was obvious. So people just, speculate and whatever. But I was telling my sister, watching these different cop shows, I do see why prosecutors and police officers bump heads.
Yes. Because you can't plant evidence and stuff. See, here's the thing. This is what I feel like with O.J. Simpson. I feel like O.J. Simpson was guilty. I always did.
A lot of people probably did. He felt he was.
And the police felt he was guilty.
Yeah.
So they went above and beyond to try to show he was guilty, in my opinion, by planting evidence and doing all kinds. They couldn't just let the case sit as it was and we figure out what happened. They had to feel they had to help. That's how we say in all these things. Like even that latest case, the one in Chicago we talked about yesterday, or the day before, where that boy got shot 96 times or whatever.
Right.
Even if he had a gun, he could be a criminal. You know you didn't pull him over because of a seatbelt. So when you start adding things and making things up, you make the defense win. Because all they got to do is just show you a liar. And that's how I felt with Johnny Cochran. He probably was like, all I had to do was just show that y'all are stupid.
That y'all tampered. Because people had already They were already
tampered with evidence and everything.
They were already feeling the tension with the police officers
in LA.
In LA. So right away, you had that issue. So that issue was steaming and big. Then another thing, they had concerns with people in the past who are rich, bring on these lawyers that get them off. They already have seen that in our world we live in. Getting tired of that.
Right.
So it was a lot of things going on where I remember when they did the verdict, it was at my job and we had TVs in our fitness center. People actually came downstairs and stood around the TV centers in the fitness center to hear the verdict.
Yep.
And I stood in the back. Most of them were white people. It was a few blacks here and there. And I watched how they responded.
Oh, it was
when
like
they said innocent, not guilty.
Yeah,
and I went, I laughed. I went like this.
And the black people cheered.
I laughed. And the people were mad. I can't believe this. Oh my goodness. But it goes back to...
It was the first time in history that black people actually saw somebody on television, black man, I guess, be the case. So they didn't even care. They didn't even care whether he was innocent or not.
They didn't care.
And then people was victimizing Nicole.
Yeah.
By saying she should have laughed. But there was, then Ron,
then they didn't like the cops.
No. And then they were saying Ron should have brought, who parks down the street when you bring glasses to drop off with somebody? So and then they believed OJ, which I believe him too, when he said it was a sexual thing going on there. But the bottom line is, he's dead. And to me, it's worth mentioning because of how famous the case was and how it divided the country, and everybody was on pins and needles through this whole case. It took up everybody's life for a year. Everybody was watching that every day on television. And the fact that he passed away, I understand how it merits mentioning. But I'm not sad that O.J. Simpson died.
Well, you know what? A part of me is.
Okay.
Because think about it. Before this whole Nicole and Ron Goldman situation, the back and forth with his marriage, his daughter, I remember she drowned. So that was his daughter. I remember that his wife, his first wife. This man broke records.
Yeah.
This man was an athlete.
So if that's what they wanted,
anything, he was a Heisman Trophy winner. He broke a lot of records.
Well, O.J. Simpson, people loved O.J. Simpson.
Oh my God! Remember the commercials, the Hertz commercials,
Airplane, the movie.
He would be running in the airport.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson was like the guy that everybody
likable guy. Yeah. So we can't forget that legacy.
Till he chopped his wife's head off.
I was telling my sister, a lot of times people, they can separate the ugly side of because like Bill Cosby.
Yes.
We do. Some people, I don't want to watch any more Bill Cosby shows or in a different world. I still watch Bill Cosby.
In different world.
R. Kelly. Some people turn the radio off, don't want to even hear an R. Kelly song. They can't separate.
Right.
He was mean or whatever.
And you know what? It's nasty. And they don't have to. That's their prerogative. Because they could have personal things in their life that was similar. Exactly. Somebody could have did something to them. Or somebody in their family. So they take it very personal when they hear R. Kelly.
Right.
With girls and stuff. Same thing with O.J. Simpson. Some people might have had people offed in their family by somebody. Yeah. So when they hear that somebody like that passes away, good, see you later. Now, Caitlyn Jenner posted good riddance and people lit her up.
Why would you say good riddance?
Well, they lit her up. But you got to understand.
He was an athlete just good like you.
But you got to understand, that's personal with him. They were friends with Nicole Brown. If people forget, he was Bruce Jenner.
Oh,
he wasn't always Caitlyn Jenner.
The Kardashians were
He was
close.
Bruce Jenner.
They were close
together. And I
forgot about that.
What's the mom's name? Y'all know
Chris.
Chris. They were friends.
They were friends
with Nicole Brown and O.J. Simpson.
Because I remember.
The first husband was best friends with them.
Yeah, he was on the case. He was
and he
one of the lawyers.
He felt O.J. was guilty. Remember when they said innocent, O.J. stood up and they said, we, the jury, find Orenthal James
Orthol.
Jay, whatever, Simpson,
Juice.
Guilty. Innocent. The camera went to Rob Kardashian, and he was shocked. He actually thought he was going to be found guilty.
I knew he was going to get off.
Even Johnny Cochran was shocked.
No,
his face.
But the sad thing about it, the thing that Johnny Cochran did bring up, and people got to understand, you got a good legal team. They can if they're real good and the prosecutor's not as strong,
right,
they can defend people like Gacy,
right,
and go, no, we don't really think that he took all those kids' lives. They was just in his yard bothering him. They would think different things, right, or a hung jury. Right. So I think one of the things you mentioned, the officers played a very big role in meddling with this case.
And Timothy Taylor says all his kids love their father. So what? Mm-hmm. You can love a murderer. What does that mean with anything?
That's the side of
and
the
then
dad
they don't know that.
Right.
They know him as their father. Yeah. Obviously.
That's what John Wayne Gacy
and
was
then,
his daughter.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy had friends. Dahmer had friends at work. Yeah. He was eating people, for God's sakes. And he had friends at work.
Oh, no.
Timothy said he was found now guilty. Y'all trying double jeopardy. He was found now guilty because the prosecution didn't
have a strong case.
Their case.
Yeah.
But guess what, Timothy Taylor? When his friend Rob Kardashian, who is an attorney, says he felt he was guilty, you need to shut up.
Why you say that?
Because if his friend says it, unless you know him personally, I would think Rob Kardashian would know him more, wouldn't he?
No, but it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter. The prosecution had to prove the case.
Without a
Y'all gotta stop with this.
Yes.
Just because somebody's found not guilty, it doesn't mean they're not guilty. Numrod.
They're guilty, but they got off.
It means that the prosecution didn't prove his case.
That's how our system
Now,
is.
we started off this whole segment by saying O.J. Simpson's friend came up to Johnny Cochran and was saying,
with all the evidence that
are you
was before
shocked?
him, he said it on CNN. He asked Johnny, he said that was his first time meeting him on the plane. And he said, do you mind if I ask you a question? With all the evidence that we knew of, and some presented, some not, maybe the way it was presented, some was missing. Johnny Cochran said, I even thought about that.
He was surprised.
He said, I was surprised that they didn't come forth with this, and this.
So we are
and
in
he said, I would have had to go a different way if
we are
they did.
In 2024.
Yes.
Any Numrod who gets on our channel and says that O.J. Simpson is innocent, you are stupid.
I don't think it matters.
The bottom line is, now you can say they didn't prove their case.
Yeah.
So he was found innocent.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he was innocent.
Right. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. People can fuss and argue until Jesus comes back
in 2024.
Yes.
After the man wrote a book.
Whether he took his wife's life and her boyfriend or not. Anything we keep saying in our country, you're innocent till proven guilty.
You gotta prove
a lot of
guilty.
times you've always made the person guilty before they even go to the case. So
we know darn well in this country you are not innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
That's what's on the books.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why he got off, because in our country, you are innocent until proven guilty.
And you gotta
prove. Now, do I blame OJ for getting off? No, absolutely not. If you plant evidence as the police, taking stuff home,
touching the glove,
moving this, adding on to the story. Prosecutors are stupid, bringing a glove that was in a refrigerator and telling him to try it on. Even O.J. Simpson, when O.J. Simpson, I watched the case every day. When O.J. Simpson saw the gloves, he was like, oh, shoot. And Johnny Cochran was like, darn it, they're going to make him put these gloves on. He fought for him not to put those gloves on. And Judge Eno allowed it. Johnny Cochran said, no, don't let him we don't want him to put those gloves on because it's going to be a visual of him with those gloves on.
And we don't want the jury to see that.
And Judge Eno says it's allowed. And O.J. Simpson walked slowly over.
You remember?
I remember. And he had the glove and he was like, dang it. And he started putting them on,
and it didn't
fit. He was even surprised. His face was like,
that's where the famous line,
if it don't equip, you must equip. And then Johnny Cochran got an idea.
Yeah.
Now that we made a mockery of the gloves that killed somebody, let's do the hat. They keep putting pictures up of this black man with this hat on that looks like a criminal that'll choke anybody. Yes. Johnny Cochran said, "Is this the hat?" And he put the hat on. He looked like a kid going to school.
He knew what he was doing.
He's a good lawyer.
And who's to say Johnny behind the scenes felt he was guilty?
Well, yeah.
But I'm going to get him off. Because they didn't prove.
You got to prove your case. And we're tired. This is what it was all about. We're tired of you sending black men up the river by planting evidence and beating them up and getting away with this stuff. Yes, now we're gonna try all these cops. We're trying the LAPD and the prosecution.
They were on trial too.
We're gonna try y'all, and just enough of this. Mm-hmm. That's why black people was cheering. Yeah, they wasn't cheering because they thought O.J. Simpson was innocent. Only a few of you numbskulls. The rest of the people was cheering because it was like, finally, somebody got off. Yes,
we're still waiting on the Kennedy that killed the young lady in the car. He never got in charge for that. He got off because he had good lawyers that paid for him.
Thank you. Emerald says, salutations, everyone.
Salutations to you.
That Glam 26 says his son may have done it. Now, hold on for a second.
That was speculation.
I have not ruled that out.
That's conspiracy theory. Actually, that his kid may have done it.
The Love Glam 26, I don't think you're a nincompoop for saying that.
His son may have done it.
I'll even go so far to say, you know what? I'll even give you that point.
Wow.
I'll give it to you.
That's a conspiracy theory. People
because
thought his family.
You got to prove it. Either way. And maybe the stronger case was to prove that OJ did it more than his son. Right. His son is stupid. So they probably feel like if he go on trial, that's the easiest person to send up the river. Where OJ is he's a narcissist. Like Trump. He believes that he's a good guy inside. Put him on trial.
Victim. I'm the victim. Yes. Why are you coming at me?
So I wouldn't call you a nincompoop, the Love Glam. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad theory. I don't believe it though. But I believe that OJ did it.
They did, but say that his son or somebody else that knew him.
Yeah,
but it's not.
But the Timothy Taylor, you a numbskull.
No, it doesn't matter if he feels that way.
Come on,
because he said he did,
or you know, he said he was found not guilty. Y'all double jeopardy.
No, he was found not guilty,
and his kids love him.
So what? That's not what the point that we're making with this whole thing is this. It wasn't just the murder. Unfortunately for the families, I feel bad for Nicole and the Goldman family because now they can hopefully get some closure because he's gone off this earth now. Because they went at him for a civil.
Well, they won, but they couldn't get any money out of it.
But the point is with this case, and people need to keep remembering back then, it was issues with cops already, with black people and cops tampering with things and prosecutor, people already felt like Marsha and what's his name had something going on.
Yeah. Y'all did. Later on, they said they
y'all didn't have y'all case strong because y'all did another Fonnie. Fonnie, what's her name thing? We y'all kind of like, did we miss anything?
Yeah.
And
Chris Darden and there was being Fonnie and what's his name? Nathan.
And then you think Cochran?
Long nights spinning together, reading books. Well, you didn't do a good job.
That team came in and they said
they was ready.
Prove he did
it.
Prove it.
Now,
not how you feel.
Justice says,
but prove it.
Justice Frost says, hey, everybody. Hey, Justice. I've read that too about his son. His son has mental health issues and was a chef with some very expensive knives. Ooh. So that's why I said, when the Love Glam 26 said that she heard it was a son too, I don't call her stupid for that.
You know what?
Because that's not a bad thought.
It's not far-fetched.
If you don't think that he did it, you think, put it this way, anybody that comes in here and says he didn't do it and he doesn't know who did it, you're a numbskull. But if you say, I don't think he did it, but I think he knew who did it. Oh. Maybe he hired somebody, whatever. Then that's an intelligent conversation to have.
Well, they can still
in 2024.
But they can still say they don't think he did.
I know it, and I can still say you're a numbskull.
And they may not have give reason like these other people are giving with a brother.
And I can still say you're a numbskull.
But that's how they feel.
And that's how I feel. Oh, okay. How about that? It's my show, so I can say how I feel. But get your own show, and then you can say how you feel.
But we said all this to say is
he's dead.
See you
later.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, what you said all this to say?
We said.
You said all this to say what?
We were before you guys came in the room. We were talking about, are you able to separate?
Oh yeah.
What this man has done in legacy with football?
Yeah,
Heisman Trophy winner.
I feel like
then whatever went on trial with him and his ex or whatever. And some people can. Most guys who are athletic and love athletes, watching football, whatever. He's broke records. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah, I agree.
So. And we were talking about some people can't, and family members mainly, they can separate it.
And that's
have
fine.
Nothing to do with
to
him
me, either
and
way.
His football
Naked
past.
Gun. That was what I was talking about. Naked Gun.
Oh, he was in Naked
Gun.
Gun.
And Roots. Remember he was in Roots?
What was his part in Roots?
Yeah, he
the
was
newer one, right?
No, the old one. He was in Africa.
No, was he?
Yeah, he was when they was in Africa. I remember
what
that.
What part did he play?
I don't. I remember him being in there.
Oh,
but yeah, I remember him being in Roots. But yeah. So the bottom line is, if you're not able to separate, if you are able to separate, that's fine.
Like all of these guys who, unfortunately, black men.
Yeah.
To
me, I
hate that.
I didn't like O.J. Simpson before he chopped his wife's head off.
I didn't care. It didn't matter because I saw him as
no, but I'm saying I didn't like him before that. Like how some people liked him and Naked Gun and all that. Yeah. I always felt he was arrogant and narcissist, and I felt like he put down black women. He dogged his ex-wife out. She was black.
I mean, but he married her.
I know, but then he dogged her out. And then he said stuff that was like, I just remember him being negative.
I remember being
black
sad
women.
about his daughter drowning, though, when he lost his daughter. I don't wish that on nobody.
No. Well, no, it's the daughter. Like you don't want the daughter to die.
You don't want your kids dying.
So O.J. Simpson, see you later. But I was more going towards the people getting mad at Caitlyn Jenner for saying good riddance.
And
they was that
reminded
was
us they were friends.
Yeah, that was personal.
I remember Kim Kardashian talking about their families would come together and they would eat out and go to parties and stuff. Yeah. So they were close to OJ.
I guess
and
they
Nicole.
Felt like Caitlyn Jenner should be like the Kardashians. They haven't said anything. Yeah. You don't see Kim Kardashian getting on saying good riddance.
That's not nice to say anyway.
So and Kris Jenner hasn't said good riddance.
Right.
So they probably feel like
that was her
Caitlyn always has to say something and be out in the public. Mm-hmm. Worse than the Kardashians, if you can believe that. So that's probably why people feel like
be careful, Caitlyn.
Be quiet, Caitlyn, because
the sad thing about Caitlyn is there's people who would wish good riddance for you.
Which is wrong, but
I know, but I'm just saying that's how evil, mean, and people can be by saying that.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have said that. Now you didn't sow some seeds.
All right, so good riddance. I say the same thing he said.
I don't say that. Don't say that.
Why you keep trying to tell me what to
say? Don't say good riddance. You don't have no reason to say good riddance. You said Caitlyn did. Because Caitlyn took it personal.
All right, see you later.
He took.
No, I won't see you later. Hopefully, I won't. Not if you went. Not unless he got saved and went to heaven. Yeah. Then I'll see you later.
If he got peace with God.
Now, to me, it would be mean if I said that. I don't think it's mean to say good riddance. Okay. I think it's mean if I said, I hope you burn in hell. I think that's mean.
That's mean. You're right.
I don't think it's mean to say good riddance.
So you would say that to Trump?
Good riddance. Now, say burn in hell or something. Nah. To me, that's because everybody to me can get find a relationship with Christ and go to heaven.
That any should perish.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Now, if I said stuff like that, I would agree with you. Why are you putting people in hell?
And
that's mean.
Sending them
unless they like Hitler. I'm sorry. Ooh. Hope you burn in hell. Ooh. See? Ooh. It depends. You see what I'm saying? Jesus. It's some people you can say that.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I would say that for him.
I would still say
I hope God turned him over to a reprobated mind.
I don't know. Yes, whatever.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see.